Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. Let's talk about the 76ers versus the Celtics. Yesterday's game was amazing. James Harden finally showed up for the second time in the series. So far, James Harden have 2 games where he actually played insane. And it's about time, man. So he's finally shaking those demons and actually showing up when it matters. So yesterday's game, James Harden had 42 points, and he hit the biggest shot in the game to win the game. And in order for the 76ers to advance or possibly beat the Celtics, it's going to lie on James Harden because more than likely Joel Embiid is going to show up. You could normally count on Joel Embiid to show up and do what he needs to do. The issue we have is James Harden. We don't know what version we're going to get. Are we going to get the 42-point version, or are we going to get the G League version? You don't know what version of James Harden you're going to see from a night-to-night, game-to-game basis. If James Harden plays like he did yesterday and in Game 1, the Sixers could definitely beat the Celtics. If he do what he needs to do and plays like that, there's no doubt in my mind that the Sixers could advance, but James Harden is going to have to play like this. We can't have a 15-point James Harden. Subpar play is not going to beat the Celtic team. They're too good. So James Harden is going to have to go into his MVP bag and show up and support Joel Embiid if they want to advance, and he could finally make it to the finals. But he's going to have to show up and show out. The Sixers could beat the Celtics. I'm pretty sure of it. The success of the 76ers lies on James Harden's shoulders, not Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid is going to more than likely give you what he needs to give you. James Harden is the wild card because we don't know what we are going to get from a game-to-game, night-to-night basis. We don't know. You just got to cross your fingers and hope that James Harden shows up when it matters the most. And yesterday's game, James Harden was a monster. He showed up again. Once again, it was a hard-fought game. They almost lost the game because the ref didn't call a foul when Tatum shoved off on Maxey. That should have been a foul. And that almost cost the 76ers the game. That was a very pivotal moment in the game. That was a blatant offensive foul. But the ref didn't call for some reason. And luckily, the 76ers managed to still win the game. But beyond all that, James Harden has to show up. In order for the 76ers to advance and possibly win, Embiid is going to give you what he gave you, which he gave you 34 points, 13 rebounds. And even then, we know he could be better than that, but that was still solid. That was very good. That was impressive. 34 points and 13 rebounds. That was very impressive. So if James Harden show up on a night-to-night basis, the 76ers could possibly advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. If Harden and Embiid is going to get a chance to play in the finals, this is the year. But it all rests on Harden. It's not Embiid, it's Harden. I know some might think it's Embiid, he's the MVP, but no. Embiid is going to more than likely give you what he needs to. The issue is James Harden comes and go just like Anthony Davis. James Harden and Anthony Davis have the same syndrome. They're here one game, they're gone the next. So you don't know from game to game what version of James Harden are you going to get. You don't know until the ball tips off. Yesterday was a great game, man. Yesterday was an amazing game. That was a very good game. That was a game. I mean, there were some bad calls, or some no calls, I should say, more so. That push off on Maxey, man, that could have decided the entire game in the series. Because that was a blatant foul, offensive foul. That was a blatant offensive foul by Tatum. And for some reason, the ref decided not to call that. And Tatum made a 3-point bucket from the push-off. And luckily, the 76ers found a way to win because that play could have been the deciding factor, in this whole entire game. And it was a great game. James Harden just got to show up. It's simple as that. If James Harden shows up, overcome all his demons, they could possibly make it to the finals. But Embiid is going to need James Harden to be MVP James Harden. For this series, he's going to have to be MVP James Harden. And so far, he have 2 great games. 2 games scoring over 40 plus points. I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to get 40 points. If he scores about 30 something, 10 to 12 assists in that range, that's good. That's great. So he doesn't necessarily need to score over 40. No, he just has to get in the 30 range. That's all. He just has to score in the 30 range. Or even if he get 28 or something in that range, get a lot of assists, that could compensate. But we can't have games where James Harden is scoring less than 15 points. That ain't going to cut it. Not if you're trying to beat a good Boston team. That is not going to cut it. So James Harden has to dig deep and continue to play at this level. If he could do that for the rest of the series, I have no doubt in my mind that the 76ers could possibly overcome the Celtics and advance to the finals. But we're going to see what happened in Game 5, man. Game 4 was amazing. James Harden showed up. Embiid did what he was supposed to. You know, he's the MVP, 34 points, 13 rebounds, and it was a fun game to watch. Back and forth, back and forth. This was a very good game. They went to OT. Thanks to PJ Tucker. I got to give some love to PJ Tucker, man. PJ Tucker is a dog. If PJ Tucker didn't do what he did, you know, as far as the grittiness and getting the rebound to get the putback and tie the game, it would have been over. PJ Tucker is a big part of why they won this game. So I got to tip my hat off to him. You know, his energy, his aggressiveness, he's mentally tough. PJ Tucker is mentally built for this. He's mentally tough, you know, and he's a great player to have on your team because his mentality and his attitude and his energy. He's not going to lay down. He's going to fight. So PJ Tucker is a big part of why they won Game 4. So as long as James Harden keep playing the way he's doing right now, Embiid is doing what he's doing, and PJ Tucker is bringing the energy, you know, that strong, tough mentality, mindset, I think the 76ers, they could possibly upset the Celtics. But we'll see what happened in Game 5, man. Game 4 was amazing. It was a good game, very good game. As always, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.